You can just put your phone down because I won't have anything. You won't have anything to look at. I'm just doing this blackout right now, and the way I'm doing this, and who I'm not in contact with right now on October 9th is this thing is all happening live is really a trip and a half. When I talk to you guys, it's instead of me phoning a friend right now or someone in the Essene crew, I'm not even contacting them. I know what stage they're in, most of them, because we've been healing together. But the message needs to go out to all of you. I got on here to talk about I just saw, and I put it up on TikTok, they're planning on shooting 3 rockets into the Ring of Fire eclipse from White Sands, New Mexico, in order to get data, they're saying, and to launch 4 instruments of some type of element, is what they're telling everybody. Well, I believe that this is a lot of things. This is a lot of things that happened with me and my crew, and why I had to go raw, and why since Lionsgate 2022, I have been screaming. They shot me out of a rocket. And it really is how all of my codes went raw, and how we ended up going into the body to reformulate in order to have all of this happen. And there was a lot of things that were going on right then in August 2022 about the Chinese rocket. This is when they pulled the maneuver with my son Rex, who was Cohen made in a lab. And they had taken out a pillar in the etherics, basically the highest pillar connection. I mean, I had not one connection to any of y'all. And do y'all know how bad that is? I mean, that's like lights out to source. So what I'm wrapping my head around, because one of our missions when we were in Anaheim, right after this happened, because we had been, it was my job, it's who I am down here, to put back together and rebirth everything through these cosmic cycles. And I had, 2000, we were doing the astronomy. We brought in the blood from the stars, literally, into this cosmos, me and the 242 charts that I did in 2018. And then what we did was blend all of that together through the entire collective's healing to put back together an origin strand. And then what I had to do was intermingle with every single one of these DNA strands for long periods of time, until, while the stories were being written that are about to play out in people's timelines, because this is how high up we were. And what I'm realizing is, well, my crew, after the link was in Pismo. The link was in Pismo. Pismo at the Sea Gypsy is a time traveler hotel. It ended up being a vampire coven hotel, but it wasn't whenever I first got there in 2020. It had completely changed residents after they had followed us around and figured out what we were doing. But the Sea Gypsy, it was a command center to the ocean. I literally put the ocean on my back. We were dealing with vampire sub chambers and people and beings that were being held unconscious in drawers in the sub chambers. And when we finally left that clearing, which for me and the being that traveled with me, nothing was ever just leaving somewhere. Whenever you're leaving one of those types of clearings, and because of who I am, being the G core to the planet, basically what's happening when those lines get cut that are that massive, then what you're doing is driving and walking the electric line, the core line, to something that's underneath the ground. It could be a cable line, it could be an electric line, it could be a fiber optic line, it could be the river system holding two continental shelves together. Like but that is what's happening whenever you do something in a group with a massive clearing like that. Whenever you leave it, you get jetted off to the direction because you're following the current. Well, we ended up at the Madonna Hotel. And I had been there before. I had been in the Madonna Hotel. It was mirroring Texas, and the Texas Mason connections were all in it. It was Swenson's. It was all the stuff growing up in the 80s that were around me in that place. And there was a lot of remembrances and connections to JonBenet Ramsey, my dancing days, all these things that are in that place. The soda shop, the cakes that they make. Well, the hotel, the way that it's gridded down there in the area where it is, with the equestrian and horse farms and stuff around it, up on top of this mountain, and it goes down in like this valley, and it's a Titanic location. Because we had to stay there. We drove up, and I said, we have to stay here tonight if there's a room open, and if not, Madonna, you are fucked if there's not. And one was open, only one, and it was one of their specialty rooms. It was ridiculously expensive, but it had a rock wall and a rock in it, and it was next to the Madonna suite, and then they had 3 other little suites in this nook. One of them was Caveman, but the room that we ended up staying in even had Cohu 32 everywhere, in the rafters, in everything. It was such a trip. And I had to do all these crazy maneuvers connecting from the Sea Gypsy to the subterranean through to the rock. And we had to do all of these etheric things with bodysuits and skin suits, basically, is what it was. Hangers on a line, using ironing boards, irons, and this big fucking brown chair that I'm sitting in right now. There's one in my garage, this whole brown chair thing, including the one that got thrown out of Caesar in Las Vegas by that guy, Max. And I was screaming to the crew, they blew me out of a fucking rocket. They blew me out of a fucking rocket. And I couldn't put it together. I'm still putting it together. Number one, this eclipse is an opening. Basically, it's on the other side of that eclipse, it's going to be a little bit more hell. The eclipses line back up again like in 2042, 2044, and we've got another subset that's coming next year. That's why everybody's got a little bit more time to get their shit together, but a whole lot of them don't, because it's a portal to the dark side of everything we just cleaned up from the 2017 eclipse that eclipsed America over Jefferson City, Missouri. And what happened on that 2017 eclipse is that all of us ancients were force activated right before that eclipse. And what happened was when that eclipse opened up, in a lot of ways, whether we knew it or not, we went through it. We went through it. It basically sucked us all up into the dark side, these dark side timelines. And what we've been doing is clearing it to reconnect, to get out. Well, that second eclipse was supposed to take place in 2022, and it was supposed to happen over Jefferson City, Missouri. Both of the eclipses were supposed to be crossing right there. That's why I had to get there. That's why my car engine blew on the way to get there. Whenever I drove through Oklahoma in that Google plant, the etheric gate, energy gate that was there was so fucking strong. When I went through it, it blew my car engine. But that is how sedated and statitized all these grids had gotten. My point is, all of us have been on the dark side, clearing to get back in. And as we did through this vector Pisces, all these things have been rewritten within the etherics. And now, because of the resettling of DNA and how it ended up happening, this whole ring of fire has moved down to San Antonio, Texas. But it was about the Alamo, wasn't it? The Alamo cult as well as the Alamo. Because if you're in the descendants of the Alamo, then you know all about the Alamo cult. Or you've just been being attacked for a long time and now you got a name for it. The Alamo cult is using A/B methodologies and storylines to write for basically the Illuminati or any plans that they had written in those orders. The Alamo cult also got most of its power from all the mega preachers in Texas. Kenneth Copeland, Joel Osteen, Keith, whatever the hell his name is. All of them in Texas work in a unit, and that Alamo cult system, which is what kept Texas and all its seeds down here so controlled and handled. So, and I knew we blew up. And in the end, we had 4 Essenes that were the ones that put it back together. So this past year, this is also why me, and especially the girl who traveled with me, she's been able to move around more than me, but I've been completely, when I got back from California in 2022, I wasn't welcome in the home because I was dead. And basically, I was erased from your matrix. But you can't even find my names that I was before that on the internet with any of the things that I had done down here, which is a lot. So I don't know. I've been screaming, don't throw a microwave at a tornado. You don't want to throw a microwave at a black hole. And now we're finding out that this is what they're gonna do. And it's why none of us are in union. It's why we've had to wait for all this mess, because they're literally gonna try to strap your spiritual leader, the ones that they knew, that the government has been hiding, making all y'all from, by the way, making everything down here from. They're literally, I guess, thinking that they're just going to strap us to a rocket and throw us out into, but see, they already did. They already did. And this is why I was seeing. See, and this is where this whole thing kind of perplexes your brain. Does it not? Because it is me too. Because I'm sitting here going, this is what they're gonna do. Like, this is so. And then I remember they already did. This is what we were screaming. Seriously, you're gonna blow us out of a rocket? Okay. So now all the particles just went all over the universe. Thanks. We'll just gate that. But you seriously thought that you was just going to be able to blow ancient creator deities out of the and throw us into hell? Again? 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 That portal and that eclipse, we made it. This is our eclipse, not yours. And this is why I saw the solar system crash. And this is why I had to get all the way out of the planet. And why I'm over here screaming, I'm your G, I'm your G. And this is how I'm bouncing out around. I mean, I was diving into the sun in 2021. So for anybody that wants to send me a comment, I'm just saying this to the world. And I'm saying this to the world on behalf of my crews and all the beings who, like me, these past 6-7 years, and some their whole lives, have stood up to stuff and done stuff that you have no idea of. So if you don't like this channel and if you think this is all bullshit, that's cool. I don't care. Do not type any comments to me asking me to prove myself. We have nothing to prove to any of you. We rewrote your cycles and rewrote your cosmos and rewrote your DNA, all the while y'all's thought process is attacking us the whole time and having to stay out of judgment so we didn't accidentally get ourselves blown out of a black hole again. You're leaving comments asking us to prove ourselves when we're the ones that for the past 4 or 5 years came and told y'all stuff. And do you know, just me showing up here and telling, do you know how much hell that brought me in the spell world and what I had to live through and unbind myself from till the bitter end? Because now they're literally wanting to throw me out of a fucking rocket into the pits of hell because I'm over here telling the world what the fuck is really going on, because it already happened to us, because it's all how divine plan works. And you think that all of us angels and warrior angels and ancient deities got zapped from every fucking timeline in the history of humanity to be walking on your ground right now with every bit of us fucking connected? You think that that just happened for no reason? I can tell you right now, I am ordering in the energy I'm in, which is the energy of every single angelic in this in the ascended right now, until we get more people on board. You come up with us with some ignorant shit, you are getting it. And we ain't going to say anything. What we're going to do is immediately send you into the program that we had to walk through. You want to see? Be our guest. You get to go. I mean, but who are we? We were just hybridized in order to be hidden for this time and have all your ancient DNA codes. But yeah, sure, we don't know shit. You're going to be acting like all the celebrities that are crying in their Wheaties right now because they didn't fucking listen. And that's a lot of y'all didn't need to hear that. Most of y'all that listen to me didn't need to hear that, but I need you to know that that's what energy we're standing in. Because the closer that we get to the Bing Shakalaka, we are really starting to understand how long we've been here and what we actually just came from, and we will demand respect. Because the entire time that our twin and our trilogy fucking units that they had us governmentally bound into were being sourced and utilized and money taken to give all other races money so that they could propagate it and populate it and drain all of our lineages dry. Those lines, man. And somebody needs to explain to me, because here's what I don't know from the, and I'm standing up for all of y'all. We know how it really works. Unless you've been sawed up and sacrificed and boiled with all your different parts in a different jar, you ain't going to understand what we're talking about. So unless that's what you want done to you, I suggest you start listening to the ones who are out there telling you the real truth, and stop acting like you think a science or a book, anything from a paternal Abraham freaking ceramic factory, is going to tell you about creation. We also ordered today for all of the living books. So that's your Bible, that's the Quran, anything that's a living book. We ordered the phonetic overtones and the words to change to deliver the highest message from source that's available in that book. And I've already seen the Bible change a couple of times on my mission. 2017 was the first one whenever we planted New Earth, and then it appeared Dan defeated AI. So those word patterns and even the books should start changing in order to deliver correct message and to help unlock any mind patterns. But I'm not sure what's going to happen whenever you shoot 3 rockets into a force field that's fucking so big that it's crashing the entire infrastructure of what you call Earth and civilization already. And all it's doing is lining up. And it's having to line up completely at 0 point with not any alterations, even down to how much weight I have to. I've had to gain weight and lose weight throughout this whole journey to hit a certain weight in order to make sure that everything was being connected. FYI. So on our dissension back in here from cleaning the biblical skulls that you woke us up in order to do, and then you had us fight with each other out there under some weird mind maps the whole fucking time, fucking with us. The whole time we were trying to line back up with the human race in order to save the human race. And now, whenever we're lining it up with no connectors, because no, you couldn't let it just be. You had to try to control it, isolate all of us, to where you think that if you isolate us and you don't let us appear together, you think it's going to stop anything? Oh no, honey sugar pie. It just made it that much fucking bigger. But with a very more precise lineup for 0 point. And if that don't line up correct, oh well. Oh well. And then at the same time, what you're going to do is shoot 3 spears at us? Okay. Mind you, we haven't seen anything about that Virgin Galactic crew. And I haven't gone to look it up either, but they took off into space and hadn't heard they came back yet. I mean, this might be the final cutting of that entire etheric H bridge, but warning, warning, that's helium, that's anesthesia. Which obviously we don't need with the new DNA, or else it'd still be here. But I mean, that's what it is. In your H gate, take that. This is why I'm seeing a whiteout. This is just nuts to me. It really blows my mind, the level that people and organizations have come after us with none of them communicating with us. None of them. None of them. None of them have showed up and asked, why are you doing this? What's going on? No, none of them. Not one. Not one. So then where are you getting your information that you need to blow 3 rockets into a black hole? Is my question. Because you ain't talking to the beings that you know are written in the scrolls that have been hidden, that everybody's been trying to kill, and all your NATO missions and all your Navy people have been keeping us company with their little bullshit on Google Chats, and your entire military units that have been guarding me and my family for the past fucking 2 years. Have even come to ask. Well, here's a message to you. Might as well not waste that rocket fuel.